All right, now that we've got some of the layers created and we have some of our quick access toolbars ready to go, first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the rectangle tool. So the rectangle tool is right here. We might not have used this, but I'm going to click on the rectangle tool. The way the rectangle tool works, if you read the prompt, it says specify first corner point or, okay? So I'm working in my workspace. I'm going to left click once, and I'm going to drag my mouse down into the right. And I've got two fields. I've got a field on the bottom that is highlighted in blue. That's my x-axis. And I have a field on the right that is my y-axis. So I'm going to type 1 in my x-axis. And then I'm going to hit the tab key on your keyboard. And that's going to move to the y-axis. And I'm going to type 1 for the y-axis. And now I'm going to hit enter. And what that does is that gives me a square that is 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay. If you follow the drawing, you should have access to a Titleblock setup drawing, just like this. We're going to follow this around. Really try to pay attention to some of these dimensions because it is going to help you draw properly. If you just draw, all the way around, you're going to have a really hard time getting some of these lines in the middle. So I'm going to walk you through that really quick right now. Okay, so now I'm going to use the line tool. And I'm going to use my O-snap, left click. And I'm going to move this over to the right. Now you'll notice that I've got an angle here. So I want to make sure that that's straight. In order to ensure that's straight, I'm going to turn on my ortho. Even being in the command, I can go down here, turn my ortho on, and now it's going to be perfectly straight. I can also use the shortcut key F8 to do the same thing. All right, so now this is going to be 5 inches. I'm going to go down a 1/2 inch. I'm going to move my mouse down and go 0.25 for 1/4 inch and hit enter. And one last time, move my mouse down, 0.25, and hit enter. Now I'm going to go to the left. I'm going to move to the left and type in 1.30 and hit enter. Move my mouse to the left, type in 2.0 and hit enter. And then I'm just going to go all the way to the end until I see my O-snap and left click. Okay, now I still have the line tool activated. So I'm going to hit escape once. And by doing it this way, I've essentially set up stopping points, which I can't really see now. You can sort of see it if I highlight over it. But I have stopping points that I can now use my O-snaps to draw the rest of the line work. So I'm going to go back to the line tool. And I'm going to start at the end point, which is really the middle. But I'm going to start at this O-snap. I'm going to left click and drag all the way to this first line. It could say midpoint or it could say perpendicular. But I'm going to left click, okay, move my mouse, and I'm going to hit escape. And I've drawn my first line, nice and clean. All right, I'm going to repeat, okay? Spacebar, if you hit spacebar, it will reactivate the last command that you used. So instead of going all the way up to the line tool, just hit spacebar because that was the last thing we used, and we're going to redraw. So I'm going to go to the endpoint, left click, drag all the way over. There's my perpendicular point, left click, hit escape, and spacebar to start redrawing again. I'm going to find the endpoint here. There it is. Endpoint click, move up to my perpendicular point, left click, escape, and spacebar. Find the endpoint here. There it is. Left click, move up, perpendicular, left click, escape, and spacebar. Now we're moving on to the second line. The second line, I want to use the midpoint. So there's the midpoint marker, that green triangle. Left click, lift up, left click, hit escape to get out of it. Okay. Now again, this might differ from from point to point and from year to year. But the latest, we're going to have another box 1 inch. So I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to start at the end. I'm going to go to the right 1, enter. I'm going to go down 1, enter. And I'm just going to left click on the end here and hit escape to get out of the line tool. All right. Now, if you want to see your line weights be active, what we can do is we're going to highlight everything here. Okay. So the way to do that is I'm going to take my mouse. I'm going to not move it. So I'm going to left click, let go. Make sure it doesn't move for a half second. And then you can do the rectangular window, or rectangular crossing rather, sorry. Rectangular crossing. Left click out here. Everything is selected. Once everything is selected, I'm going to go up to my layers, left click, drop it down, go to my object layer, left click on the object layer, and everything turns on the object layer. I'm going to hit escape. And now you can see the line weight of the object layer. All right, so that was part 2. That's how you're going to create the basic geometry for the title block.